Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for our webinar on how to become a qualified vendor for the USDA Foods Program. My name is Amanda Wayman, and I am one of the outreach coordinators for Commodity Procurement Program with the Ag Marketing Service at the USDA National Department of Agriculture. Today, I'll be presenting the administrative and technical components of the CPP Commodity Procurement New Vendor Process to become eligible to bid on government contracts for food and commodities. So let's begin. As we mentioned in the first step of becoming a vendor is the AMS Master Invitation for Bids for Commodity Procurement. The Master Invitation for Bids is the main body of every contract awarded by AMS. It details the Federal Acquisition Regulation, commonly referred to as FAR, and includes clauses and provisions governing federal procurements such as financial capabilities, small business subcontracting, pre-bid certifications, product traceability, and more. This is the contract document. Please know that what it says, and be aware that by submitting an offer to AMS, you are confirming that you meet all the requirements laid out in this master invitation for bids. Please read it, understand it, and if you have any questions, please contact the contracting officer to receive clarification. It is also important to note that the master invitation bids is updated frequently, so please check back for any updates. The second step is to review the product specifications. Your application itself should focus on one commodity specification, such as canned vegetables, yogurt products, or shell eggs, which we'll discuss further in future slides. A good way to find out if commodity procurement is a good fit for you and your company is to thoroughly review the USDA commodity specifications. These are located on our website. It is crucial that you understand the technical requirements before you begin the new vendor process. The specifications detail technical requirements for the product and production, including raw materials, formulation, packaging and packing, inspection and certification requirements, and much more. These detailed specifications ensure USDA gets the same quality end product under every contract, regardless of which supplier is awarded. Sometimes we make changes to our technical requirements for our products. These are called amendments. We link under the specification. We ask that you please take the time to review any associated amendments included with the product specification. The USDA takes product integrity very seriously, and we expect that our vendors supply product that constantly meets the quality and safety inspections of our customers. Lastly, another great resource that you will want to review before determining if your company is a good fit for the commodity procurement program is a purchase program, solicitations, and awards websites. There are 3 helpful links at the top of the web page. The first is the public procurement page to view current solicitations and contract awards. The second is purchase announcements. The third is the purchase summary report to be able to review the products AMS CPP purchases. Lastly, to better understand our upcoming solicitations, this web page also includes solicitation schedules, which provide an estimated time frame for when we will issue solicitations asking vendors to submit a bid. We do want to highlight the public procurement page mentioned in the previous slide, which includes a search screen that allows vendors to view current solicitations and contract awards. All of our bid invitations, solicitations, and purchases are linked to this website, and it can give you a better idea of prices, competition, and quantity. Plus, you can even see certain bids contain small business set-asides. Typically, a bid is open for 2 weeks. Although the time frame does vary, it is important to note that you cannot submit a bid after the bid has closed. For any questions related to the public procurement page, please reach out to WBSMC team by calling 877-927-2648 or emailing WBSCM AM HELP desk at usda.gov. After you've looked through our resources and determined our program is a good fit for your company, you can then move on to an actual new vendor approval application. As we mentioned earlier, There is an administrative and a technical component to the new vendor application process. The administrative part is completed first, followed by the technical, which includes audits and inspections. Here's a quick overview of the administrative application process, which we will go over in detail in the next several slides. Each step of the way, there is someone to assist you, whether that is with the new vendor team compiling all the required documentation, the procurement analysts doing the initial review of that documentation, and the program area conducting the audits and inspections, the WBSCM help desk to help you get set up for bid after being approved. So please do not hesitate to ask for help. Let's delve more into the administrative paperwork that needs to be completed. The next step focuses on administrative paperwork, which begins with the System for Award Management, or SAM. SAM is a federal government-owned and operated free website. Every vendor who wants to participate in the federal government procurement must be registered in SAM. Vendors must be registered and active in SAM for all awards and must list all the North American Industry Classification System codes for the products that you're interested in applying for, which are all listed on our master invitation of bids. Also, small businesses can self-certify as small or small disadvantaged business when they register on sam.gov. The process can take 2 to 8 weeks. Additionally, small business would reach out to the Small Business Administration to certify their business as a hub zone, a service disabled, veteran-owned small business, veteran-owned small business, woman-owned small business, minority-owned small business, or an 8A business. The Small Business Administration certification process can take 90 to 120 days on average. While SAM registration is only needed to be done once, you must update or renew your registration annually. There is no fee to register your company into SAM. The system is free, so be aware that there are other similar systems that charge a hefty fee. If you run into some trouble registering for SAM, there is a help tab on SAM's main page, which features questions and answers, user guidelines, and helpful hints. A great contact to help you register your company in SAM are Apex Accelerators, formerly known as Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, or PTACS. Apex Accelerators provide free counseling and training for vendors that want to do business with the government. One of the great things about Apex Accelerators is their help is free with SAM registration, and they even have a webpage highlighting their assistance with SAM general tips and videos. While you may not be able to see it well on this slide, we will be remiss if we didn't mention the updated vendor qualification requirement checklist, which is the next step in the administrative application. This checklist has been revised to include an overview of the administrative and technical requirements needed to become approved. It also includes a program area directory for the various program areas that you will need to contact to schedule any audits or inspections needed to fulfill the technical requirements. To receive a copy of the checklist, please email the new vendor email team at newvendor@usda.gov. A manufacturer is an organization that manufactures, processes, and produces the product they plan to supply the USDA. Aside from completing the checklist, you must also include a company letter with your capability statement. It must be on company letterhead and signed by the principal of your company. Your capability statement must include products that you would like to provide, including pack sizes and capacity sizes, and the list of material codes. Also, it should include a description of your company's historical business experiences, including the number of years or the similar products that have been sold to a commercial marketplace or other governmental entities. You must also provide information about your firm's record of integrity and business ethics, as well as documentation that your firm is qualified and eligible to receive an award under all applicable laws and regulations. We will also need 3 letters of references from satisfied customers. Each reference letter should be on an official letterhead, signed by the company representative, and include a phone number and address for verification. The letters must mention the purchased product that is the same or similar to the products that you would like to apply for and describe the customer's satisfaction with the products provided. All reference letters should come from current customers showcasing your firm's past performance. Lastly, in your package is the WBSCM vendor registration form, which is needed to create a user profile and grant access to the WebSCM system. Once you are approved as a vendor, as we previously mentioned, we ask vendors only select one commodity specification, such as canned vegetables, yogurt products, or shelled eggs, for your application. New vendors may undergo a probationary period, which they are awarded 10 truckloads or equivalent determined by the contracting officer. Once half of the volume has been delivered, the probationary period may be lifted. Once you complete the probationary period, your company can supply additional products. An important reminder is that we require the legal company name on every piece of documentation. Your legal company name should match the company name which you registered for within your state, and you can verify your company name by visiting your Secretary of State's websites. After your administrative paperwork package is received, our new vendor team will send it over to the approving procurement analyst, who will review your application and determine contractor responsibility. Vendors must have a unique entity identifier to be active on SAM to conduct this review, which is essential to your company to be successfully registered in SAM from the very beginning. A non-manufacturer is an organization that does not manufacture, process, or produce the product they plan to supply to the USDA. If you are a non-manufacturer, we will require 2 additional items from you aside from your first 4 previously discussed. Your company must have a written agreement with the supplier. Therefore, non-manufacturers that use suppliers or manufacturers must submit a supplier letter. This is a letter from a manufacturer or supplier stating it will provide the product that meets the commodity specifications. Please ensure your letter is on manufacturer's letterhead, which includes the material code and the description, and is signed by both you and your supplier. Your firm must have written agreement with the supplier. The agreement must specify the product that the supplier will provide. Additionally, it must explain how your company as a non-manufacturer will take ownership or possession in the items using your personal equipment or facilities in a manner consistent with industry practice. Non-manufacturers will also need to submit a complaint and dispute resolution proposal agreement. This is an agreement between you and your supplier detailing how the prospective contractor would remedy a situation should something happen to the product. The submitted document must be signed by both you and your supplier.
Thanks, Amanda. So now that we've gone over the administrative portion of the application, we will talk about the next step in the new vendor approval process, which are the technical requirements. Once your administrative paperwork has been submitted, you will receive an email from the procurement analyst, which will detail that your paperwork is being reviewed, and you will now need to complete the technical requirements for your commodity. That same email will include the auditing and inspection points of contact for the AMS program area responsible for your commodity. These contacts are also listed in the new vendor checklist. It is the vendor's responsibility to contact the respective program area to schedule any audits or inspections, and all requirements must be met prior to the bid opening date. Once you have completed the administrative and the technical requirements, you will receive an additional email from our procurement analyst stating that you are now an approved vendor, and they will include the WebSCM team in that email for the next step in the process. After you get that full approval email from the program analyst with the WebSCM help desk on copy, the help desk will upload your WebSCM vendor registration form into the system. Once your form is successfully uploaded to WebSCM, you will receive an email directly from the WebSCM help desk asking for additional information, such as other users for your account and plans to be filled out and submitted. Please read this email. It is your lifeline into our system, and if the information requested by our WebSCM team is not submitted in a timely manner, it may hold up the process for you to submit bids. When the WebSCM help desk uploads your registration into WebSCM, the point of contact on your vendor registration form is the person that will receive the email from the help desk requesting they complete an Excel form to create corporate vendor administrators, or CVAs. What are CVAs? Well, CVAs add additional users into WebSCM, assign user roles to the applicable plants and shipping points, and review plant and shipping point information in WebSCM. The CVA should be the first person that users go to for assistance in WebSCM, apart from the WebSCM help desk. And attached to the help desk email, you will find a document which contains information on the roles and responsibilities of the CVA. Next, you will need to double-check your EFT banking information in SAM to ensure it is up to date. SAM is linked up to WebSCM, and when you submit an invoice for payment in WebSCM, funds will be transferred through the EFT information that you listed in SAM. If you have any WebSCM questions at any point, or need assistance entering your plans and shipping points into WebSCM, feel free to email the WebSCM Help Desk at WBSCM AMS helpdesk@usda.gov. You can also email them to request access to a live simulation on submitting a bid and a variety of other trainings. If you have more technical questions or questions on the contract itself, please refer to the appropriate contracting specialist, which can be found on the bid invitation. Additionally, you can always refer back to the WebSCM webpage for trainings and step-by-step procedure documents, but remember that you must be an approved vendor and upload it into WebSCM to gain access. Lastly, in the handy email the WebSCM team sends you, there is a link to sign up for email notifications. By joining our emailing list and subscribing to our email updates, you will receive notifications of upcoming bids, awards, specifications, and any CPP news. It is the best way to stay up to date on our contracts. There are multiple ways to sign up, either the link on that WebSCM email, or if you go to the CPP website and scroll to the bottom of the page, you can enter your email address or simply click on that little white and red envelope as you can see on the slide. Now here is a sample email notification announcing an open bid invitation. The blue box is a hyperlink that you would click on to view the bid invitation and any other additional documents pertaining to the bid. Right below is a crucial sentence which says, bids for this procurement are due no later than August 17th at 3 p.m. Central Time, which means that if you were to try to submit a bid at 3:01 Central Time on August 17th, you would be ineligible. Also, if you have any questions pertaining to the bid, the contact information for the contract specialist can be found at the bottom. So to recap the new vendor process, do your homework and review our contract documents, specifications, and previous purchases on our website. Register your company on sam.gov and ensure that you're active for all awards. Complete the new vendor checklist, get your company letter written, and compile those 3 customer references. Also, if you're a non-manufacturer, remember your supplier letters and complaint and dispute resolution proposal. And lastly, submit all your documents to the new vendor email, which is newvendor@usda.gov. Once that administrative paperwork has been submitted, the new vendor team sends the administrative application to the procurement analyst. The procurement analyst will conduct an initial review and will send you an email detailing that your paperwork is being reviewed and you will now need to complete the technical requirements for your commodity. That same email will include the AMS auditing and inspection points of contact, which are also listed in the new vendor checklist. It is the vendor's responsibility to contact the respective program area to schedule any audits or inspections, and all requirements must be met prior to the bid opening date. Once you have completed the administrative and the technical requirements, you will receive an additional email from our procurement analyst stating that you are now an approved vendor. After you get that full approval, the WebSCM Help Desk will upload the WebSCM vendor registration form, and you'll receive a follow-up email from the WebSCM team for one final task. As we mentioned earlier, the new vendor process can be lengthy and may feel overwhelming at times. But we ask that you take the process one step at a time, and remember that our USDA team is here to help every step of the way. And now, if you are already an approved vendor and wish to begin bidding on additional products, we ask that you please email us at newvendor@usda.gov, and we can share the information and documents needed to get that process started. Here is our email address again, newvendor@usda.gov. And if you have any questions on the information presented today, don't hesitate to contact our new vendor team. This was a collaborative effort, and on behalf of the new vendor team and CPP, we thank everyone for attending this webinar. Have a wonderful day.